In this tutorial, I will be showing you how you can perform portrait retouching in the most natural way, by keeping the original skin texture intact, by the frequency separation method. Later on, we are going to sculpt the face with light and shade, using the dodge and burn method. So without losing any more time, let's quickly start the tutorial. Right after opening your image, the very first thing I am going to do is exposure and color correction. This is a raw image, that's why it loaded inside the Camera Raw plugin. You can use a JPEG image, then in that case you have to access the Camera Raw from the filter. Quickly, I am going to make some changes. You can find the link to the Camera Raw tutorial in the description below. I am going to make 2 duplicate layers. Name the below layer low frequency or skin tone, and change the name of the above layer to high frequency or skin texture. Select layer skin tone, and then go to filter, blur, then Gaussian blur. Keep the blur value in such a way that it blurs away all of the skin's textures. Next, click on the skin texture layer to make it active. Go to image and then apply image. Remember this. From this drop-down, you have to select skin tone layer, and from blending select subtract. Set scale to and offset to 128. What we are trying to do here is we are separating the texture and color in 2 separate layers. Click OK to confirm. Change the blending mode of the skin texture layer to linear light. If we see the layers individually, then you can find texture and color are separated in 2 layers. This is because color and texture blend together to form the original image. Next, we are going to remove blemishes from the skin. So we have to work on the texture layer. Pick up the clone tool. Make sure it samples from the current layer, as we are working with texture only and don't want to disturb the color information of the image. Press Alt and take samples from the adjacent areas and brush over the blemishes. Now pick up a spot healing brush tool to patch up the skin defects. But keep the sample all layers unchecked and content aware selected. For smooth skin, now we are going to work on the color tone layer only. This way we can keep the texture of the skin intact. Take a pen tool and draw selection areas over the skin. Keeping this to path, click on Selection. Select the feather amount. Click OK. Then go to Filter, then Blur, then Gaussian Blur. Select both the layers, then press Ctrl G to group the layers. Toggle visibility on and off to see before and after. Now we need to even out the skin color and remove dark patches on the skin. Create a new blank layer right in the middle of the color and texture layer. Pick up Brush tool. Press Alt and click to sample color from the skin. Brush over the dark areas and uneven tones. Apply Gaussian blur to this layer. Next, we are going to sculpt the face with light and shade using dodge and burn. Create a new curve adjustment layer. Create a point in the mid-tone area on the point curve line, and then drag it down to bring out shadows in the portrait. Similarly, create another curve adjustment layer, but this time drag the point up to bring out the highlights on the skin. As you can see, both layers has a white mask. That means it's revealing all the effects of the curve layer, but we want our effect to take action in certain specific areas. So we have to hide the effect by inverting the mask to black. Press Ctrl I to invert. Rename the below layer to a burn and the top to a dodge. Select mask of the burn layer. Select the brush tool with white color. Decrease opacity and keep the hardness of the brush to 0%. And then paint over the skin. Once you are finished, apply Gaussian blur to the layer in such a way that the burn amount nicely blends with the skin. Same thing we are going to do with the dodge layer. Group dodge and burn layer together. Toggle visibility to see before and after. Now, we are going to enhance the eyes. As you can see, there are lots of veins in the white parts of the eyes, which we are going to remove with the healing brush tool and clone tool. So create a new blank layer and set the sample to all layers. Take samples from adjacent areas and brush over the veins. Now we need to sharpen the eyes. One way by which you can do that is a high-pass filter. You have to create a stamp tool that merges down all the below layers into one layer. Then you have to duplicate the layer and apply a high-pass filter to it. After that, change the blending mode to overlay or soft light. Apply a black mask and use a white brush to reveal the sharpness of the eyes. It's that simple. But the problem with this method is the change is permanent. I am going to show you how you can do eye sharpening non-destructively. For that, we have to return back to our skin texture layer. What is sharpening? It's enhancing the texture values of an image. Through frequency separation, we already extracted the texture of the image to a separate layer. Duplicate the texture layer. Turn off the visibility of the original texture layer. Now, if you try to apply a high-pass filter to the texture layer, it's going to blur out the details, as the blending mode of the layer is linear light. So instead of the high pass, we have to use custom. Inside the custom filter, you can see this. Without making any changes, you simply have to press OK. Any changes made to it will give you an abnormal result. Then, apply a layer mask. Press Ctrl-I to hide all the effects. Turn on the visibility of the original texture layer. Now, pick up a brush tool with the white color selected and paint over the eyes. Decrease the opacity of the brush if you like. We are almost done with this portrait. The last thing we want to do is enhance the lips. So we are going to duplicate the skin tone layer and rename it to Lips. Zoom in, and then pick up the pen tool to make a selection of the lips. Click on the selection and apply feather radius to 3. Create a solid color adjustment layer. Pick any color you want. Change the blending mode to color burn. Double-click on the adjustment layer to open the layer style. Keeping the blend if to gray, drag the white point to the extent where the underlying layer is visible. Now, holding down the Alt key, try to drag the same point. It's going to break into 2 halves. Slide them to adjust to create a subtle gradient of highlight on the lips. I am going to change the color to red. Next, we are going to apply some dodge and burn to the lips. For that, we are going to create a neutral gray layer. Press Shift, Ctrl, N, and then change blending mode to soft light. Check fill with 50% gray. Use the white colored brush for dodging and the black colored brush for burning. After you are done with it, apply Gaussian blur. Group these layers and name it lips. If you enjoyed watching this tutorial, please hit like. Want to watch more Photoshop tutorials? Click on this link and I will see you in my next videos.